going to use our water marbled papers and we're gonna make a holiday star. So the finished product, I have a couple finished, is gonna look like that. So let's make a star. I'm gonna hang it right here so you guys can see. We're gonna get there. Okay, so I have so many papers from making water marbled paper in the last few months. So I wanted something to do with them, and I saw a video on TikTok by a lady named Jolene. Her company is called Vintage Decor. So if you are over there, or maybe she's here on YouTube, I haven't seen her here, so we'll have to go Googling her and see if we can find her. But she did a really great little tutorial about how to make these stars, and so I just had to. I had to make a star with my water marbled papers. Blah, that's a mouthful. Okay, so these guys are cardstock. So they're just made from cardstock. They're nothing fancy. The paper is just from Walmart. And then the front where we're gonna print is pre-treated with a drying agent called Alum. So I have a back side and a front side on all of my papers. And so this process of making these stars was a little bit tricky for me at the beginning, but I think I'm a pro and I think I can show you how I did it. So our paper is long and short on one side, and we need to make it into a perfect square. So we're gonna do that by folding it in half and then cutting the ends off. And I didn't prepare, you know, like normally you prepare a sheet of having like half of it ready, and I didn't do that. So we're just gonna do this together. So now these end pieces, they could become a bookmark. My daughter folded them together to make like a chain, which I thought was really cool, and is hanging in our kitchen. And these pieces that I'm cutting off are gonna get added to it. So if we haven't met before, my name is Krista, and I use the magic of water marbling to print scarves. I was at the grocery store the other day and somebody was like, hey, you're the silk scarf lady. So I'm gonna embrace it so I can be the silk scarf lady. And I don't mind a bit about it. And so what was I gonna tell you? So yeah, these were pre-treated and then water marbled using our process called water marbling. If you want to try water marbling, see this guy? This is the kit you want to try. It's by a company called Decor, and I totally recommend it. If you have a class of kids, a group of kids, or family together, or you just want to try it at home, this is the kit you want to start with. It's got Alum, it's got carrageenan, it's got 5 colors of paint usually. And there's bigger kits, smaller. I don't think there's smaller kits, but I think there's bigger kits as well. But that is the kit you want to start with because it has everything in it. It's the place to start. You do have to buy your own, I just use a dish tray, you know, like you wash dishes, you have those big tubs. I just use a dishwashing tub at the beginning when I first started. So we've got a couple, oh, hi, hello there. I would love to know where in the world you're watching from. So I am in West Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada. The area I live in is called the Okanagan Valley. It is full of mountains and lakes and rivers, and we have snow right along the tops of all of our mountains around our area. So the snow is coming, the frost is getting nearer. And we are gonna, so every single paper is becoming this shape with this little end piece that I'm cutting off. And this is just cardstock from Walmart. It's nothing fancy. You can buy really fancy paper. You can try marbling all sorts of papers. I actually wanted to show you these because I was thinking of trying these for a star. But these are just from a really cheap little notepad, and they totally marbled perfectly. I didn't actually prepare them with anything. These just went right on the tray. So that was something fun I tried. Okay, so now we have, so we're gonna make this star. So now we have this perfect square shape. And we have that fold line that now, you can see, I'm going to fold it to the center line. I'm gonna fold it to my fold line on both sides. And I'm sorry, we got a few to do. We're doing 5 pieces of paper to make a 5-point star. Okay, so it came to the center, and now I've got this guy that I'm gonna fold down. You know, you could also just make this out of paper, and then you could print the whole thing. That would be cool. Okay, so we got that triangle shape, and now we're gonna fold this again. On the bottom, where that flop of paper is, we're gonna fold it. We're gonna fold it into the center line again. And I've got my hot glue gun, because we're gonna do a little hot glue gunning to make that stay. Okay, so there's our shape. Now these flaps are gonna get attached to that center flap. So we just need a glue and a glue. Okay, that's our plan. All right, so line of glue. My glue gun is not a very good glue gun. I was watching some of those videos of people having like cordless glue guns and all sorts of things, and I was a little bit jealous, I will admit. Maybe that's a good idea for Christmas for my husband. We'll have to see. Do you guys have a Christmas list started? I have Christmas ideas for everybody already on my bag because it comes so quickly. All right, so it's glued. So what we're looking for is, here's our fold line. We've got our short edge, and this is gonna kind of pop forward, and that's the first star made. And then they're gonna glue together all the way around. So that's what we're looking for, okay, that shape. Okay, so I'm going to make 4 more of these. So if you have questions, put them in the comments, because guess what? I have time to answer them. So if you have a question, put it in the comments. I'd love to answer it. Okay, so one of the questions I get asked all the time is, how did you get started with water marbling? So all of these papers were made with water marbling. And so how I got started was, I saw a viral Facebook video of a company called Mayu Silk Art, and they, I think they had, it was, somebody came and did a video for them, and it just kind of, they posted it on Facebook, or the other people posted it, and it went viral, tons of views. And so they have a studio in California, and I had 2 little kids, and there was no way on earth I was going to California. And so I went out and I tried to figure it out on my own, and then about a month later, I checked back and they offered an online course. So if you really want to get into silk scarf making, send me an email and I will send you the link to their course, because that is how I got started. And then I kind of figured out what worked for me and what worked for our lives. And so I do offer in-person workshops in the Okanagan. But lately, I made a decision that I think everybody in the whole world should water marble and should try it. And so I found that kit through Decor, and I just decided that that is, everybody asks, how should you get started? How should I try this little kit? You should try with this. You should start here. Water marbling is like a huge, it has so many, I'd like to say it's got a lot of personality. It doesn't always go perfect the first time you try, but once you get it and you get the process, it's like the most amazing opportunity, because yeah, you can do paper, you can do ceramics, you can do wood, these are little wood mushrooms. You can even just do onto leaves, water marbling onto leaves. Who knew? They're totally free, they don't cost anything. There's a fluff. So what should you start with water marbling? You should try everything. You should try paper, you should try whatever you want. There's people who do leather, who do candles, who do ornaments, who do silks, who do all sorts of fabrics and materials. So if there's a will and you are gonna try it and experiment, it's definitely an option. What is my favorite thing to water marble? That's another question I get asked all the time. I think there's another star point. My favorite thing to water marble is, I think my favorite is probably the silk scarves, because they're the most consistent, and then they're wearable. So they're not just gonna sit somewhere and not get used. So I'd say fabric or silk scarves, because they give a really great consistent design every time. And you cannot go wrong with them. There's another, is that pretty? See all these white marks on here? So it was the wet fingers. I was showing a demo on how to avoid that type of result on your paper, and it was just wet fingers that made the paint resist, because the paper was already wet from your fingers. So I think that video is coming up soon, mistakes to avoid with water marbling. So okay, so what is that? Oh, what is one thing you wished you knew sooner? One thing I wish I knew sooner about water marbling is that you can water marble anything. There is a gal in Australia, her name is Bronwyn, and if you love water marbling, you should follow her. It's called Rainbow Crow Studios, but rainbow is spelled with a Y instead of an I. And so I think seeing her and seeing the different things that she uses and prints and makes and tries. She has one video where she printed onto, I think it's a cello, an instrument, and a guitar, and all sorts of things. And I think experimentation, I think that's something I wish I knew sooner, was that you can and you should experiment with everything. You should try everything with water marbling. If you love leather work, try water marbling onto leather. If you love nature and you want to make some special leaves, try some leaves. And so everything, just try it. I think that would be the one thing I would suggest. All right, so I've talked and talked, and this is our final star. So they're all ready to become one star. Another question I have here is, do you ever get jealous of people's creations at a workshop? So I teach in-person workshops where people come and make silk scarves, and I get asked if I ever get jealous or try to make somebody else's design. And I will say there's been quite a few amazing pieces made, and I have felt like, oh my gosh, I want to replicate that because that's amazing. And I've remade a few designs. Okay, so that's our star. It's coming together. I might trade this one out for that one. I think those colors go better. Okay, so now you have your star shape. What you're going to do is glue all these together, and then the last one gets glued around the circle. So I put them flat so that I can just glue these sides. So you've got a fold. You're only gluing along this fold, this one here, the top of the fold. Well, at least that's what I did. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but that's what I did. So there has been times where I've been a little, maybe a smidgen jealous of what people have made, or I've tried to recreate it later, or I've fallen in love with somebody's colors and used them, but maybe in a different way. My favorite color combination is definitely ocean colors, although I'm gonna try and work on incorporating a little bit more pink once in a while. Oh, don't run out of glue. Don't run out of glue. And then, how do you start water marbling at home? Well, you can buy a ton of different options, but that kit, the Jacquard marbling kit, that is definitely my go-to for marbling at home. If you've never experienced marbling, that's where I would start, because you can do all the things. It includes everything in the kit. And okay, so there's 4. Now we have a pocket here where we're gonna add our 5th one. So you kind of have to fold it a little bit to make it happen. Oh, I love how these colors are coming together. So this is just cardstock paper that we prepared with alum on one side. We water marbled, and with water marbling, I use acrylic fluid paint. And then it just gets to dry. You don't have to do anything special. I think with these ones, I just hung them or laid them to dry, and then you'll be ready to, you'll have to flatten them though. These ones were sitting underneath a picture frame since they were dry, just to flatten them out of it. Love it. What do you think? It's even got a little flower on it. Okay, so now we gotta add something to hang it. So yes, I came prepared. I have a little bit of ribbon. And now I found that with the attaching the ribbon, I couldn't get it to lay flat. So I used a butter knife, and of course, I don't have a butter knife. Scissors will do. So you pick your top, add your ribbon. I don't know, what do you think? That one? That one? I like that one. So we're gonna add our ribbon just with a little glue dot up here. So normally, when we get together here on YouTube, I'm making with water marbling, but today we're using our water marbled paper to make something else, which I think is pretty fun, because some of these have been sitting in my studio waiting to be used. I was gonna try to make a notepad, but I think this beats it. So I've got this one and this one, and I have one more that I already made. So I'm gonna hang them up on the stairwell to add some color. Isn't that pretty? I think it's pretty. You could do Christmas colors or colors that match your theme or whatever to make it work. And then the cutoffs are gonna become a chain. We've got a little bit of it started already upstairs, and I'm gonna add these along. If you have any questions about what else you could use paper marbling for, or some ideas of what we should try next, put it in the comments. I'd love to know. And yeah, I hope you guys all have a wonderful afternoon, and thanks for joining me to make a paper star.